Good morning, and how are you on this amazing, amazing Friday morning, the 1st of March? Oh my goodness, March, the month of surprises. This is our topic for today. Good morning, Stacy. How are you today? How are you feeling this morning? I'm feeling fabulous, amazing, and spectacular. Hello, Lisa. How are you feeling today? It's the 1st of March, the month of surprises. A lot of new things happen during March, guys. You know that? Spring, all the welcoming, all the amazing babies are born, like in nature. Springtime, that's when everything happens. So there we are. Hi, Lynn. Good morning. How are you feeling today? It is that wonderful morning. So guess what? I was writing. I have this book somebody gave me a long time ago, and I write like sometimes just writing. So it was Angel writing this morning, and I wrote this, and I'm giving it to you, all of it, because March is a month of surprises. You can't deny that. Thanks, Stacy. I pin. Welcome to the morning blessings, because it is a month of surprises. A month of surprises. March is a month when no one knows for sure where it leads. Accept it, bask in it. This is a month, a day, each day that is never repeated. Then it is a memory gone beyond your control. This is why it is important to be in the moment during the month of March. I am feeling well, thank you for asking. It's a pleasure to ask you. And it's an amazing thing to feel you guys in the morning and say, how are you feeling today? Because it's the feeling that matters. It's not doing. Good morning, Kimberly. How are you today? How are you feeling today, Kevin and Kimberly? The month of March is a month full of surprises. I read something and I have more. I wrote most of it down today. Abundant, rising, amazing queens, feeling great. It's Friday. Oh, of course, everybody feels great on Friday. I love every day of the week because they all come with a special little tonic for the day. So anyway, let's take on the month of March. Being in the moment is a moment by moment challenge. It is not something that is done once and you have got it. The thing about being in the moment is you have to be in the moment, is relaxation, relaxing, and to realize that there is a gap between each moment. So I know you're going to say, what is she doing? But remember, I am almost not there when I'm writing this. I am there, but I'm not there. But it makes sense when you hear it. The moment, as I said, March is a month of surprises. Being in the moment is the only way we'll be able to capture the surprises. Myself, Natas, hello, welcome to the morning blessings. How are you feeling today? This is our greeting. Good morning, Yuko. How are you feeling today? You had a hectic day yesterday. I'm happy to see you. I'm alive and ready to go. So I should maybe read the first part of this so that it makes sense to those of you who just came in. A month of surprises. March is a month when no one knows for sure where it leads. So accept it, bask in it. This is a month, a day, each day that is never repeated. Then it is a memory gone beyond your control. This is why it is important to be in the moment, especially during this month of March. Being in the moment is moment by moment. It's a challenge. It is not something that is done once and you have got it. The thing about being in the moment is that it has to be a constant thing every day, every moment. So realize that there is a gap. With each moment, the practice becomes not falling into the gap. It is where the mind wanders. So if you are in the moment and the moment is leaving and the gap appears, that's when we can fall into the gap. The gap is when you're so tuned right now. Hi, Rita, good morning. How are you feeling today? You're so tuned in the moment. And as you're getting into it, everything of you, you're feeling the moment, then the gap comes. Every moment has a gap. The thing is to avoid falling in the gap. And that is why the month of March teaches us that. It's never the same. That is 1 month we're not sure whether we are in winter or in spring. We are never sure. So today, if where you are, it's amazing and it's no snow. They say it is coming in like a lamb and it leaves like a lion. So they're telling us it is going to be a blast at the end. But they forgot to tell us about the gap. The gap is where the things you can get lost. If you fall into the gap and not staying in the moment, you have to be in the moment as it moves. Otherwise, if you stop, you're going to drop in the gap. There is always a gap between moments in time. And it's in the gap we go backwards. It's in the back we fall in darkness, because backwards is darkness. Going back, there is no light on what it is that happened a moment ago. Because of that, I read the beginning just to prove to you guys, those of you who came in and I had already started, I wanted you to know, to understand. So I went back to read it. And maybe, just maybe, I chose a word or my inflection was on the wrong syllable. And that makes a difference to the meaning. And that's a gap. So the thing is, feeling, where the mind wanders is the gap. Instead of ignoring the feeling of the wind on your face, or feel the sun on your face, or look at somebody's eye to eye, you wander out of it into the gap. And the gap is, instead of feeling the wind, oh, it's such a cold wind, but you didn't feel it. You didn't embrace the wind. And maybe that pain you have on your shoulder, your arm, your waist, what about putting that cold wind there for a second? What about seeing that person, instead of being in the gap and criticizing what they look like, why don't you be in the moment and see a beautiful arched eyebrow on that person? That's the moment. The gap is when we make decisions and stay there criticizing, and we are still back there and the time has flown. It really took off. When we let the moments pass without connection, that is when we fall into the gap. Staying in the moment is a lifetime quest. Training yourself to be in the moment is not, oh, one time do it and it fits it and you got it. We never get it. None of us get it. If somebody says, I spend my 1,440 minutes every day in the moment, they're telling you a lie. Being in the moment is a quest. A quest is something you know you have to do and you work on it every day. Every moment needs its time. The joy of being in the moment allows you to see the best of the moment. It is making the decision to do it every moment. Ask yourself, if I am not in the moment of seeing grandeur or what is awesome, in this fleeting moment, we fall in the gap, which is an abyss. We do not know where the gap leads. We do not know when we fall into a gap. Hi, Kia, good morning. The gap between the moment, and the gap is not a big gap, because you are in the moment now, enjoying the feeling of the cool wind, the hot summer breeze while you're sitting in a park. And then all of a sudden, the gap appears. The gap is something in the past. And you go back there to retrace it, to relive it, to recapture it. And you forget where you are. You forget that you are on a quest to capture a moment at a time. And we have to make sure we understand that. And do not say, well, I am there and I'm working on my moment. And you know what? I got this. The moments are so different. The moments are so amazing that it is one of our biggest challenge in life, is to be able to see each moment for what it is and to avoid the gap. The gap is forming opinions. The gap is assuming, making assumptions. The gap is believing what somebody said about you, that you're not good enough, you're not perfect. The gap is your own words coming back to haunt you. So the gap is thinking of how you can even with somebody, get even. They hurt me, I have to get even. I have to get them back. I have to punish them. That is none of your business. You do not have to reach out and fix them by punishing them. You can ignore them. You can walk away from the situation. But you have to say, good morning, Nancy. How are you feeling today? You have to stay in the moment. Because you see, as I said, the month of March is a month that the moment sometimes you have hail when the sun just came out. That month brings so many things. You're walking and all of a sudden out of the ground you see a crocus, you see a daffodil, you see something. They're all coming. But then in the next moment they're covered with snow. But the joy in the moment to see that the persistency of that daffodil, of that tulip, of that crocus, that lily of the valley, that hyacinth, that is pushing itself out. That is the magic of the moment, because the next moment, by the time you come around the corner, the moment has changed. You will never see that daffodil in that same shape or same size again. It is not possible. And that is some high magnificence. So, hello, welcome to the morning blessing. How are you feeling today? So that's why all through this month, watch the days. If you do not really believe what I'm saying, make sure you are in the moment and watch March, because March is the month that has the most amazing moment in all of the months of the year. Fall is amazing, but fall has one big common thing that never stops until winter hits it. Fall, everything fall, the leaves fall, branches fall, the wind is the same. North, south, east, and west. Leaves are flying in all directions. But during the month of March, the moments are absolutely amazing because they are so different. They're so unique. And our biggest quest in life, if we need a quest, if we should have a quest, is to make sure we are in the moment, getting into the moment, those fleeting moments, because the minute we breathe out of the moment, we're in the gap. And when we fall in the gap, it's the abyss. We do not know what's in the gap. And that gap is the back. That back is a memory. That back is a pain. That back could be a joy, but it's not the moment. You are missing the joyful moment right now, and all of us have all sorts of jokes about that. You are kissing your significant other and you're thinking of something else. And you're not in the moment. You miss that fragrance. You miss that intensity of that kiss, of that hug. You miss that passion coming from that other person. You miss that energy because you are out of the moment. You're thinking the time they weren't nice to you, when you should think, well, now is now. And you absorb the moment. If not, you're going to fall in the gap. And when you're in the gap, there is no stopping you. You have to be conscious. Oh, what am I doing? You have to say to yourself, what am I doing that I am letting myself stay in this abyss? I'm going into that dark. I'm going into that small view of what it is. I can't even remember what I was wearing that day, because you went backwards. How old was that 20 years ago? And how old was that 30 years ago? The point is, we fall in the abyss. We do not know where the gap leads. We do not. Embracing the moment is challenging, but doable, if it is intentionally done in as many moments as possible. Okay, embracing the moment is challenging, but it is doable. It is if it is intentionally done as in many moments as possible. It may never be completely conquering both every single moment of the day, but congratulations should be to yourself that good. You know what? Today I had 5 times I was in the moment. Because right now, many of us are not in the moment. There was a time they gave us a raise at work if we could multitask our way into failure. And multitasking is matching into failure. Nothing is tasted. No fragrance is inhaled. Nothing is savored by the tongue. Nothing is felt amazing. Because one thing for sure, we are so much multitasking that we cannot see, this look at how creamy this is. Look at how pink it is. Look at how it tastes. Feel the texture. No, because we have no time. It's get it done and jump into the moment. Because we're maximizing ourselves by multitasking. But we miss the moment. Because although we are standing in that moment of time and we think we are going to do better, when we look back, nothing is done completely well. A long, long time ago in the history of my life, they used to sell you a vacuum cleaner that could defrost the fridge, because then we had all the fridges had ice. And it always intrigued me. I said, well, what is that? And that's how they sold it, that you could defrost your fridge with the vacuum cleaner. So I said, then does it vacuum? Anyway, you know what I'm saying. Is it a vacuum cleaner or a fridge defroster? Obviously, it didn't catch, because no, we have fridges with no frost. But that they wanted the vacuum cleaner to multitask. And obviously, they couldn't make it do both of them efficiently, so they gave it up. Just like what we are doing now, they're saying to us now, multitasking is not the right way. Multitasking is intentionally moving from one place to the other, but stopping on the way to do several things while you're doing this. Nothing gets done to the best. Everything is done haphazardly. But at work, you'll get they're the best multitasker. And that person is also exhausted. Are they multitasking that they cannot take a 15-minute break that is allowed? Is that multitasking that causes it? Maybe, maybe not. That is why match. Today, watch match. Watch those days of match. Be in the moment. Watch the awesomeness of every day that happens. This is a magical, magical month. They talk of the eyes of match, which is towards the middle. But watch it. Things change. Why you think they don't have the eyes of January, the eyes of October? They don't. So there is a reason why that month right there, it's a third month, has something magical about it. And if you can get 10 moments of being in the moment, present moment, in a month of March, you will get 10 more in April, and maybe 20 in April, because now you're consciously practicing absorbing the moment. Although we cannot, I said, you never completely conquer being in the moment, but congratulate yourself that you actually was in the moment 10 times today, 1 time today. In other words, keep your eye on the ball. You hear that all the time. Keep your eye on the ball. You don't look at the player. You look at where the ball is going. You know where they want to put it. So you have to keep your eye on the ball. The gap is the disaster. That moment has a gap. And if you fall just slightly as the moment is passing, the gap appears. The gap is your mind. It will go wherever it goes. I told you guys once, my dad said to me to listen with your mind. Stop listening with your ear. Because while you're concentrating on listening with your ear, your mind is having another story. And if you're not careful, your mind takes you into the gap. And you forget altogether what the lecturer was saying. You forget. You're outside, your hands underneath your chin, and you're looking outdoors. Yet you're there for a purpose. I always say to people, it amazes me that everybody pays thousands of dollars to go to a seminar by the titans of all sorts of industries. And they spend all their time chatting. They're chatting and they're chatting and they're chatting. And I keep wondering, why are you here? Why are you here? Why aren't you in the moment listening to the words dropping from this person that you believe that has something that will help you to enhance your life? Why are you busy talking to John Doe or Sean? Oh, it's so nice to see you. Really? What did you hear? What were you concentrating on while you were telling your friend, oh, I saw you at the last Sunday night. Really? Was it worth your $1,000 for that? Or could you just keep in touch all the time? So that when you come to the seminar, you don't have much to say. Keep your hands and your mind and your head occupied. So hi, Dynamic, and Slick Bailey, hello, if you're still there, Dynamic, Deborah, congratulations, thanks for coming to the Morning Blessing. Searching to keep the moment present, in searching to keep the moment present, we are in the present moment, because if we're searching and we're saying, we're going to do it, I'm going to do it, believing that the decision is made to be in the moment as it happens. So the decision is always ready to be made. That is confusing. But what I'm saying is that I get this. Tessa-Marie, I'm really trying to be in the moment. I have made the decision to really try to be in the moment. So trying is not making a decision. The decision is to make the decision. It might be the wrong decision. And when it is the wrong decision, that is when you have to separate the wheat from the sheaves. That is when you have to separate the stone from the rice. That is when you have to separate the stone from the pigeon peas or the peas that they gather. That is when you have to spit out the pit from the orange. That the decision is made, and that is the time you have to look at it and say, okay, I made a decision to be in the moment. And I haven't succeeded. But look in the moment. Look right at that decision. Was it 30 seconds? You stayed in the moment? See that it's not to make the decision right. It's to find the right thing in the decision. Every decision has something right in it. And if you make a decision to be in the moment more often and to be more aware and to be more consistently being in the moment, and you use the word trying, you are not doing it. If you are in the moment, you will say, can you read that again, please? Okay, I'll do that in a second. If you are in the moment, it is the moment. And the decision might have been horrible to put you in the moment, but find out what is in the moment is part of the orange you can chew. And leave the pulp and the seeds if you do not want it away. Choose the best of the wheat and leave the sheaves there. Because the decision is made to be in the moment. The thing is not making the decision, it's saying the word trying. Trying is not doing anything. So, searching to keep the moment present, we are in the moment all the time. It is believing that the decision is made to be in the moment as it happens. So the decision is always ready and it is available. It has already been made. It is time, right now, it is time to look at the decision, even if the outcome was not your desired outcome, but it can be found right as it is. It can be found right as it is. There is something right in it as it is. You made that decision and it wasn't the outcome you desired when you made the decision. Instead of turning to yourself or a friend and saying, I'm trying so hard to make the right decision, but it's not trying, and no decision is really, you cannot try to make it right over and over again. What is right? It is made. So find out what is in the decision that you can use in the moment. That is what matters, is having made a decision to do something in the moment. And because it's not quite blue and you wanted it to be royal blue, but it came out a lighter shade of blue, you ditch it. Go into that moment, in that decision, and see the blue. See it, pick it up, and be in the moment. Let it go. If anything that is not working for you, you have to be able to skip the gap. If there is a gap in the road, you will jump over the gap. There was a time they would tell us, don't walk on the cracks in the sidewalk. It was bad luck. And many people would jump over it. It's the same thing with the gap between the moment and the next moment and the next moment. It's a very tiny time. But if you give it attention, as you know, it will grow. Where energy goes, where attention goes, energy flows. So if you turn around constantly to give that gap your attention, although it is a crack in the sidewalk, if you stand there and you look at that crack in the sidewalk and you look at all what can happen, or when the sidewalk is uneven, one of the slabs of concrete has risen above the other. If you are not in the moment, guess what happens? You fall in the gap of hurting yourself. Even on a walk, we have to be in the moment. Even in the walk. If we're not in the moment, we are in fall. We are in free fall. It's like a leaf falls from the tree. The wind that blows north sends it north. The wind that's blowing south kicks it to the west. And it just keeps going. It's not in any moment because it is controlled by the gap, and the gap for that poor leaf is the wind. And we have to remember that. Always remember, being in the gap is horrid. We know the result. Being in the moment gives you some time to absorb something. But we never really conquer that because we have a brain that has never been trained to stay in the moment. And we never will, but we can accumulate as much as we can of moments that we absorb and we were in the moment. And we can savor those small moments. As I said, it could be a moment of hearing a bird, a moment of hearing the chimes, and it just does that. Or the moment that the sun decides to kiss you. Or the moment that you are feeling cold and you realize I need to pull this in and warm myself in the moment. It's in the moment that all of this happens. And there is no other month in the year that has more magical moments than March. It's from moment to moment. At 8 o'clock, it is snowing. At 8:15, the sun is out. At 9 o'clock, it's hailing. At 4 o'clock, it's snowing. And then the second day of March, you're going out, it's 90 degrees. And that's the moment. And you didn't expect that, or did you? Because you know there are moments in March that are going to be unique. And you look down and there are the crocuses and you notice now the anthills are forming. And then all of a sudden there's a snowstorm that blankets everything. But that is what makes March magical. That's why it is one of the sweetest months to be observant in. It brings joy. It actually, you will laugh. If you can be in the moment, what do you do? Answer that. What do you do to yourself? You're walking into a room and you accidentally hit your shoulder on the door. What do you do in that moment? Do you smile at the moment, or do you get angry at the door or angry at home? What about if you just smile and take the moment and keep going? Instead of turning in rage, thinking that the door stepped in front of you. I always laughed at my husband when he would come home. He worked and managed one of Loblaw stores in a very affluent area. And he would come in to me and he would say, I have to move from this store, he said, because some of these people come in there with their Lamborghini and all their different kinds of cars. And they say to us that the pole that is holding the parking lot or the store up and the parking lot below isn't there. When did they install that pole? Because they hit the car on the pole. And why is there trash in the parking lot? And he said, and he just couldn't take it anymore. And he said, I have to change. I'm going to go to some place a little bit further east than where we live, but he was working central in that area. And when I looked at one of his cards from his staff, they said to him, you're not going to like that area. I can't tell you what they said about the area. And then when he came back, after 2 weeks, he comes home and his shoulders drooping, and he said to me, they were not kidding. This is a horrible area. He didn't want to deal with the people who hit their car because they had lunch and wine and knocked their car, and maybe the husband will complain, or they clean the parking lot, why is the store dirty, and all of those kind of things. And he thought he would go somewhere that was more normal. And he found out it wasn't any better. Why? Because he didn't deal with the moment when he was in it. He decided to go for the gap. And he regretted the gap until they had to pull him back and send him back to where he was shining. And he didn't understand it. He was just fortunate. So that's what happens. When you get shoved because you walked into the door, or you raise your head and you hit something, do not get angry at the thing or even angry at yourself. Acknowledge it and go, because there's a new moment coming. And maybe by hitting yourself against the door, your head, you stopped yourself from something worse happening. So remember, it's March. The energy of March is different. It is going to be more in line with humans. Beware of the eyes of March, not in a bad way. Be aware of the eyes of March, and spend time during this month to find those crocuses, the hyacinth, the water hyacinth, and find the warmth of that day and the cold of tomorrow, the snow of the moment and the hail, the thunderstorm. There are so many magnificent things happening in March. Make sure you are with it. My son used to say imperfect, and it's imperfect and done. It's better than perfect and incomplete. And that for me is being in the moment. That is love. That is smiling in the moment, taking a deep breath. That is nice. That is amazing. I love that. Thank you, Tessa-Marie, as he said. Thank you for that. That was beautiful. I like that. You see, I don't wait for perfection because I don't care what others say. So when I do something, all I know for sure, I put everything I have into it. I do it, and I do not look back for your opinion or the opinion of others. All I know is that I stand on my own shoulder and I said, I did my best. You will find it even in your own children. They might say to you, Mom, you didn't raise me right. You didn't raise me to have empathy or whatever. And I said, well, that is not going to give you a tool completely for life. I raise you so that you believe in you, that you realize it's up to you, only you. And that I never say to them, nobody's perfect. And I never say to them, you're perfect, unless I'm teasing them. But I always say, the only strength you have as a human being is to know whatever it is you're doing, even if you're kissing somebody, even if you're holding somebody's hand, remember to do your best. If you're going to hold the hand, hold it like you really want to hold it. Because that is the moment. And that is what the person will remember. So your son is right. Once you know you have done your best, do not look back and say, today I really didn't work on it, I should have done it better. There's no better than your best. And listen to the key word there. I did not say there is no better than the best. I said there is no better than your best. Your best and my best will not be the same. We're different people with different gifts and talents. But you can choose to apply your best to whatever you do, whether it is just spending time and sitting and observing nature. Observe the squirrels. They're going to be out soon. March drives them crazy. They all come out. So observe, and if you spend 10 times today, for 30 seconds, 10 times in 30 seconds doing this, you've won. You have won. Because if we miss the moment, we miss the miracle of life. And if we miss that miracle, we won't get it again. And the quest continues. Do not give up because you missed the boat this time. Do not give up because the boat left with your brother and it's not coming back. Do not give up. Wait. Because the boat that came from my brother will also come from me. Chinese proverb. Anyway, here you go. Have a wonderful weekend. The first weekend of March. Do something amazing for you. What would you have done on the 1st of February you didn't do? Can you do it today? It's just something you wanted to do, and you said, I have no time. And when you say you have no time, time says, fine. You have no time? I'm on. You have time? I'm there too. Remember that. Okay, let's see us this morning at this late time. Kia, Nancy, Stacy, Rita, Lisa, Lynn, and what is your name? Dynamic Deborah, and myself, Natasha. It's nice you guys put your name in, because I always make an effort to remember names. So Dynamic and Deborah, put and somebody else, put your name on there. Let us see what you are. So when you come on, I can at least acknowledge you by your name. I do this purposely, to know your name. It's not an effort. I just do it so that I know who you are, because we all have names. We're unique, and that's one thing that makes us even unique. And it's important to have it. Another thing, while we're on names, of course, a name has power. Some people can be a name. I said that once to somebody, but observation, certain people cannot have a name that sometimes the name overpowers them. And the Jewish people have a tradition. My friend told me they never name their children after somebody that's living without putting something different, because they believe that the angel of death will make a mistake and take the wrong person. So therefore they don't. But sometimes you meet people and the name they have been given is too big or too heavy for them, and you can see their behavior. And there's some names that people can carry it and people can't. And those that can carry it soar under that name. And those that can't carry that name, they sometimes do not soar. It's so amazing to see that if you follow and you look at what names can do. And have a great day. Sorry for that part of the lecture. It wasn't necessary. I'm off to Costco today. I do a monthly run at Costco. It should cost me quite a bit, but I'm going to Costco today. Again, you must be saying, why are you going to Costco on a Friday? I'll tell you what I do. I use a credit card at Costco that has points. But I don't shop willy-dilly with my credit card. I shop intentionally and purposely with it. I'll tell you why. So my billing date was the 28th. So therefore, the best time for shopping will be between the 29 to maybe the 10th. Or I don't go past the 10th. So once I have done with shopping today, and I might go to 4 different places to pick up different things, Costco will be the big one. And then I'll go to the health food store. I'll go to pick up certain type of cream for coffee. Where will I go again? And then, things like that. So I have a list and I will do that. Because then if you are employed and you get paid every 2 weeks. So let's say you shopped today with your credit card because you're getting points. And you know that do not shop any day with a credit card that has points. Make sure you shop after your billing date. It's the most important thing, is to shop after the last day that your bill. On your credit card, on the top left-hand corner, it says on the statement, this statement is from January 27th to February 28th. That's what mine said. So I shop after that. But when you're employed and you're getting paid every 2 weeks, let's say you spend $500. I make it an even number. Let's say you spend $600. So every time you get paid, you pay them automatically before the bills come $200. Because you see, from the time that last statement was created to creating the other statement is 7 weeks. And during those 7 weeks, most people have either 7 pay periods or 6 plus 6 pay period and an odd week. So you take how much you spend and do not spend again, and you divide it by 3, and every payday, you automatically transfer that amount of money to the credit card. By the time the credit card statement shows up to you, you will have paid it off without paying any interest. So that's one way. The other thing that happens, you wait until you get the bill, and then you go and you look at your finances and you want to pay it, or you pay the minimum. And if you do that, you're losing, because now you're paying interest. So always try to pay your credit card, or if you can, most of your bills according to how you get paid, and use it once a month for all what you need to do, and then work it down. You have to be conscious though, especially in this market. Oh, by the way, I'm going to have a sustainable financial spending plan course in April. I was trying to figure it for this month, but it's just too close. So we're going to do it in April. So I will tell you more about it. And in there you will learn a lot more tricks about actually making your credit card work for you instead of you working to pay the credit card. The trick about it is, I had a credit card statement and I read it on Sunday. Let me just show you what happens. It's Friday and everybody's going to be crazy shopping, right? So this is my credit card that I use for points. My statement date, is exactly that. That's an old one. So December 27 to January 26. So what you need to pay attention to is where it says summary. Summary is in big print. Your limit, your available credit, and then it says time to pay in tiny print. Time to pay. And that's in small print. And it will read something like this. At your current, first let me tell you, I owed $1,086. Is that, $1,086.08. At your current rates of interest, listen carefully. If you make only your minimum payment by the due date each month, it will take a deep breath, grab your coffee, and listen to this. I owe $1,086 I owed on this credit card. It will take approximately 27 years and 6 months to repay the statement balance shown on this statement. Do not pay the minimum. Always work. And if you pay a little bit every payday, the trick is you will always have money. Instead of saying, well, this payday I'm paying rent, this payday I'm buying food. No. Wait until you have a month with 3 paydays. Actually, some people had it in February. And then you start paying everything bi-weekly. I know you cannot pay your rent and some things mortgage bi-weekly if you are not. But you just leave that amount in the account and you build on it. And you just take off what you need to pay for other things that you control bi-weekly. Anyway, it's part of this spending plan. If you want to know how to do this and to succeed, it works when you're on pension, when you're retired. The point is, it's your money. Why give them the interest? For one time in your life, make them work for you. Have a great day. I'm off to Costco. See you guys later. Bye.